X dancers, Anthony Rose. We've got some cool intermediate waltz moves for you guys today. Now this is called the syncopated turn and develope. That
Beautiful.
sounds complicated, but it's actually a really beautiful move. You're gonna like it, so stick around. Guys, we sent out a short survey to all of our members on our email list, and that's called the X Dancegram. We asked the question, what are your favorite dances? Now, obviously, two-step was number one, but right beneath that, we were surprised that waltz was number two. So we need to start doing some more waltz on the channel. By the way, if you are not on the X Dancegram, click that button right there, join our list. We've got almost 10,000 people on the list right now, and we send out videos and tips and tricks and all that stuff. And by the way, if you're brand new to this channel, you're gonna notice this little button down here, and it says subscribe. Now, if you click that button, then you become an X Dancer, and you'll know when all the awesome stuff happens here on the channel. So we're gonna demonstrate the pattern, and then we're gonna break it down. Guys, the first thing you gotta know about waltz is difficult. It's hard. I mean, it looks really easy. Let me define what I mean here. Waltz is easy to dance, but hard to dance well. That's what I'm saying. So like two-step is just hard to dance, but the get to the higher levels is a little bit easier.
Well, it takes a lot of control.
A lot of control, a lot of balance. There's a lot of boring technical stuff. So now we're gonna do our best to break this down in a simple way, but this is an intermediate pattern. We're assuming you at least know the basics. If you haven't gotten the basic idea of what the secret sauce of waltz is, click that link right there. That's gonna break down the basic idea. But we are going to start. I'm going to say some terminology along the way, and I'm going to briefly define it. So we are going to start with leaders. You're going to be facing diagonal wall. Now, for those of you who knows what that means, if this is my line of dance, if we're coming towards you, to my right is this structure we call the wall. Now, if we're diagonal to the wall, we are at a 45, so our shoulders should be square up, basically with the corner if we're staying in the center of a square root. So we're going to go from this closed position. We are immediately going to switch into promenade. Okay, so now we're both moving down the line of dance. After we've done that, I'm going to be coming around her. So I'm going to be moving forward for one, I'm going to switch into promenade for count two, our feet come together, and then we move forward for three. Now for here, we're in promenade position, we're going to stay in promenade position for one, and then I'm going to move around her going into this open position for two and three. So at this point, we're both facing down the line of dance. Let me show you that from this angle. So we're going to be going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So now this is our line of dance and we're moving. Now we're going to do a syncopation. So syncopation is another word, and we're going to tell you what this word means. It's basically getting away from the basic rhythm. Okay, it's a syncopated rhythm. So instead of 1, 2, 3, it's going to have a different rhythm. So once we get into this point, we're facing forward. She's going to be turning. I'm going to bring that hand over her head and we're going to dance 1, 2, and 3. For the leaders, that's called a chassé, okay? So if you watch just the leader's footwork, we're both stepping forward with the inside foot, that is with the heel, by the way, and then from there, that's 1, and then I'm gonna step 2, together, 3. All right, we'll show you that again from the other side. We're gonna step with the inside foot, 1, 2, and 3, that's your syncopation. And then from there, we've got this two hand. I'm gonna be taking my left foot, which is now free because my weight is on my right foot, and I'm gonna be stepping to the inside of her as she takes one step back, and that's gonna go into her develope. Now, develope means to develop. This is something that happens develops over a period of time. I'm not just gonna have her step back and then, kung fu kick her leg up in the air. So if we show you that again with a develope this time, we're gonna go 1, 2, and 3, and she has 1, 2, kicking on 3. Okay, so everything in waltz is done in sections of 3. Okay, now if you've not watched that basic concept video, again, we're linking that again. You have count 1, which is to continue what you're doing. Count 2 is change if you're gonna. Count 3 is a new direction. Okay, here's what that means. So if we show you that from the beginning, we're in closed position, I'm facing diagonal wall. Count 1 is to continue. That means if I'm facing this wall and we're in closed position, we continue doing that. Count 2 is change if you're gonna. Change means switch or change to the promenade position. Now we have a new direction, so instead of her going backwards, she's now going forward, so that's a change of direction. Everything in this kind of happens that way. So if you watch all of this again, continue, change, new direction. So you have continue, change, new direction. Now we're in promenade, so we continue in promenade, we change, and now I have a new direction, which is now forward. We're gonna be facing here, we're gonna continue, we change, and we don't have a new direction, but we're stopping there. From that point, we have our développé. That développé is going to last over those 3 counts, okay? And it finishes on count 3. So she steps back for count 1, she develops through count 2, finishes right on count 3. So if you watch that again, she's on her left foot at this point, we're getting ready to développé. She steps back, that's 1, she develops it for 2, and she kicks on 3, finishes that point. At that point, we're switching to move back in that direction, okay? So again, count 1 is to continue, count 2 is to change if you're gonna, count 3 is a new direction. So even through that développé, after the développé is over, we have 1, 2, 3. She continues, she changes, and now she has a new direction. All right, so if you watch her, she's in that développé, she continues for count 1. After she's done her développé, she comes forward, let's continue. Then I change positions with her on count 2, and now instead of moving that way, she changed directions and she's moving back. So if you watch that again, we have continue, change, new direction. Now watch this. Continue, change, new direction. All right? Now we're gonna do a lot of things in different dance positions here. So it starts out in close, it goes to promenade, it goes to side by side. But here we need to be in what's called outside position. So if you watch that from this side, she's stepping back, I am completely outside of her, which means my foot is on the outside of her. We're now gonna continue that. We're switching or changing to the opposite side. Now she's on my other side and we have a new direction, which is going back in that direction, okay? So the whole thing is continue, change, new direction. From the beginning again, continue, change, new direction, continue, I change to the outside, new direction, continue, change, new direction. We have continue, now watch this, we have continue, change, new direction, same thing here, continue, change back to promenade, new direction. Everything is based on that process. Waltz is, like I said, it's more difficult technically than some of the dances, but the concepts of all the dances, what lies underneath, is actually pretty simple. It's one of the things that I enjoy teaching the most when somebody gets that moment of aha. Same thing with two-step, West Coast swing, East Coast swing, but waltz has that process underneath of continue, change, new direction. So we're gonna show you this one more time all the way through, going back this way. We have continue, change, new direction. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Okay, so thing you gotta know, keep this in mind, that if you're gonna change from one dance position to the next, it is almost universally going to happen on count 2. I'm not gonna have a pattern where I'm gonna start and then immediately on count 1 switch to promenade. If I have count 1, I just continue doing that, then I change if I'm gonna, because I'm gonna, for count 2, and then we have a new direction with her going forward. The entire process is set up that way, okay? So we're gonna demonstrate this again to music a couple times. Now, if you guys have questions, comments, suggestions, funny faces, tell us what you wanna see. Just comment down below and we'll see you guys next time.